This is a Mediterranean barn renovation project called the Rehab. The general spatial arrangement has been proposed and approved by the client. The next step is to define the fixed and loose furniture locations to demonstrate how the space is going to be used, how it feels, and how it comes together as a place to live in. And that's what this video is going to be talking about. Taking this outline, building a concept arrangement and populating it, working through the space room by room, making decisions about how each one is arranged and what goes in it and how the floors are finished. And this is where we're headed. So let's get into it. And if you want to follow along, there is a link in the description to create a free Rayon account. And if you enjoy this type of content, please make sure to subscribe to the channel for more. And let's dive into it. So the first step is going to be to create a quick concept diagram. This is about establishing the intent for each of these spaces before any furniture goes in. This is a process that I particularly find useful to think through the design layout before bringing in any furniture. Okay, our starting point is really just a building shell. So we have the existing walls that are hatched out in grey. We then have our proposed elements in blue. So we have this kind of new extension to the top left corner of the building. And then we've kind of added some internal partitions for it looks like a bedroom and an ensuite. So to very quickly analyze the space that we have here, we're going to do a quick concept diagram. So this is really kind of like a quick bubble diagram. So the entrance is very generous. We have this kind of generous atrium space, this big lobby, with then these hallways that are linking the different wings of the building. So we have one end which looks like the master bedroom, the other end which looks like the more living zones. So we have this kind of really nice point of entry. And a really generous entrance space. Now on the right hand side here, we could call this the master bedroom. We have a smaller bedroom but with an ensuite, which is interesting because so we can see how we can make that a kind of real feature of the design. And we're just going to add some color to these bubbles, which you can do on the right hand side when you adjust your styles. We're just going to add red for bedrooms, blue for bathrooms, a purple for living spaces. So we might have kind of living zone for, let's say, a kind of where you've got your sofa and your TV and maybe a log fire or something like that on the bottom left corner. And then our extension zone at the top could be our kitchen and dining space, because we can build then that relationship between that external zone on that right hand side alongside it. And so we want to build this kind of permeability between the spaces. And I think already by the design that we've kind of started here, we're going to really build quite a nice circulation of these spaces that are linking between one another. So the first type of furniture that we're going to add to this drawing is going to be fixed furniture. So this is really anything that's going to either connect with the building or isn't really ever going to move, like built-in wardrobes, beds, locations, kitchen layouts, bathroom fittings, any joinery that defines the kind of edges of the space. These go in first because they're the most kind of constrained and because everything else in the room will organize around them. I think the design of the spaces already kind of are indicating these zones for where certain fixed elements will be. For example, we have this kind of crook in the wall where we might have a built-in wardrobe, which makes sense to kind of give that linear look and feel as you enter the space. We then, in this room, we only really have one option of putting a double bed along this wall, purely because of the window location. We can't really put it anywhere else. Then in this lower room, we could have maybe a really big bath in the corner. You could do it as a big square. Maybe you could actually angle it and make it a little bit more spacious, tucked in the right hand side, with then your kind of vanity or your kind of toilet units along that back wall. So this all kind of is falling into place as part of the configuration. Now in the entrance space, you might have some fixed furniture, some loose furniture. So you could, for example, have a kind of pool table or something in the middle as a real feature of the entrance. You could have maybe a bookshelf or some kind of library feature on the right hand side. Similarly with the bedroom, we could have a double bed in there with maybe a wardrobe tucked in the corner. Similarly with the bathroom, we could have maybe a shower by the window, and then a strip where we have our toilet and kind of vanity and sanity units. And then in the kitchen, I think there's a real opportunity for the top left-hand corner to be maybe an L-shaped kitchen with an island tucked up at the top here. So you're kind of shaping the kitchen to look out into that environment. So we don't want the kitchen to kind of separate the spaces. We want it to help, build that relationship between the internal, the external, and then also some of the kind of dining spaces that we want to create. And I think by having an open doorway is quite a nice way to do that. Now, the next bit is to actually start bringing in some blocks to identify those fixed furniture in a real sense. So what we're going to do is going to head to the block library, and we're going to start pulling in some of these blocks that we want to start dropping into our drawing. You can either search them by individual block or by libraries. So I tend to like to search by individual block because then I can search specifically what I want to look for. In this case, I want to look for a wardrobe or maybe even a sliding door wardrobe, which you can then pull into place, drop into our canvas. And then you can see here, a really nice feature of Rayon is that although this is obviously a 2D view, you can then switch between different types of views. So you could choose from a front view, a side view, a top-down view. So when you're working between section, elevation, and plan, you can jump between those views. So we're going to pull this wardrobe into here where we might have a nice built-in wardrobe, and we can duplicate one and kind of scale it down and pull it into place. You can kind of do this as you wish. You can actually customize the wardrobe itself. We can do the same with maybe a double bed that we can then pull in to our drawing. We can do the same with bathtubs. We can pull in maybe a nice corner bathtub that we can pull into place here. On the right-hand side, you'll have the option of also rotating, mirroring, adjusting the kind of orientation of your item, and we can pull that into place here. And we can spend some time bringing in our sanitary units, toilets, anything that we really wish. The block library's got kind of thousands of options. And you can bring in your own blocks. If you have particular blocks that a client has specified, or you have your own blocks that you want to use, you can also pull those into Rayon, create them as blocks, and save them in your library too. And spending a bit of time with this second bedroom and ensuite, we've also got a bed in there. We've got now the wardrobe in the corner, and then we can bring in, for example, different shower options. You could bring in a shower tray. So you can pull those individual elements in if you wish, or you could use the kind of groups where you have multiple elements together. So you can kind of work with the block library as you wish. And the kitchen is a really great example of these kind of groups of blocks that you can pull in. A full L-shaped kitchen with an island, with chairs, with a sink in there, all of these elements already located in the block. And you can see here, you can actually click into the block itself, the block group, and start actually editing some of these components. So we can then maybe duplicate any of these cupboards that we want to add into this corner because we have a bit of an empty spot here, or you could just simply draw your own shape to cover that zone. And then the loose furniture will really start adding character to the space. The fixed elements have defined the edges and the kind of general configuration of the space, but the loose furniture now defines the space of how it's actually going to be used and experienced. So my process would be kind of repeated for the loose furniture. I would do somewhat of a kind of concept diagram, once again identifying a desk here, for example, maybe once again this kind of library space with a pool table or something in the middle, maybe a kind of storage unit or some plants in the hallway. In the living zone, maybe a kind of TV here with a sofa central to the room. Likewise with the dining space, if we want kind of a circular table here. And so what I'm going to do once again is I'm going to search the block library and pull in desks again with a chair maybe in the corner of that bedroom. You could pull in a pool table, a table football, anything you wish to kind of activate this entrance space. And we can add some kind of bookshelf / library in the entrance. That might be quite a nice feature as you come in the front door. And another example is with this dining room table set where you have all of the block elements assigned to it. You've got chairs, you've got a rug underneath, you've got some detail on the table. Really nice blocks to add to the drawings. And when you zoom out, you can see here now with all that detail and all of those blocks that we pulled into place to showcase this activity, all of a sudden you can see much more the intended use of the spaces. They're really starting to come to life now, and you can start to understand the relationship between the spaces, how they're working, the scale of them, and generally how these spaces are being used. Now, the next step is going to be to apply some zones to the drawing. Zones define each room as a distinct area. And once they're in place, we can attach data to them. We can apply floor finishes directly so the drawing starts to communicate materiality. Now, to add floor finishes, it's really simple by adding zones. Now, the way that zones work is that it will basically identify the walls or the enclosures of certain spaces as a room. So fundamentally, they're kind of room bounding. You'll see that your zone will identify that as an enclosed space. So you can then change the name of that zone to bedroom or master bedroom, however you wish. You can then change the style of that zone, so you can adjust the fill to a solid fill or some kind of texture. In this case, we're going to add a kind of wood floor finish to this room. And as you can see here, it's currently sat on top of the blocks. So we just want to then make sure that our floor finish layer is coming to the back of all of these elements, behind the openings, walls, grids, etc. And you'll see here now, it will sit behind the blocks. And you can then change and customize that style by, let's just do a lighter gray, and we can drop the opacity so it's really soft in the drawing. I think adding floor finishes is a really nice touch to a drawing, but if they're too strong and overbearing, it can really damage the hierarchy. And so we want to be careful with that. And you can do the same for the zone in the hallway, where we can change the name to our entrance space. And a really nice feature of Rayon is being able to now manage those styles. So we have a style assigned to it, but what we can do is we can save that as a style. So we're going to save this as, it will give you a kind of default name. And then you can pick that style and assign it to different elements in your drawing. For instance, if you want to make any edits to that, you can then change that fill and stroke to a blue or a red or something. And you'll be able to see that it applies to all of those elements with that style assigned to it. And so we can apply the same style across our zones in the bedrooms and living spaces. We can then add a different hatch to maybe our bathrooms, where we want to add some tiling, just to differentiate once again spatially those spaces. And you can adjust the scale of that texture by clicking transform and scaling that down. And then once again, we can save that as a style and apply it across different zones. Similarly with the kitchen, we can apply a really nice stone finish again. And we can do a similar process with external grass and paving to indicate those kind of axes points. And just something that was missing from our drawing set there was some external furniture. So adding some, chairs, deck chairs, maybe a parasol and some kind of seating outside. And we can add more things such as a pergola as a kind of covered feature over this external area. We can pull that into place and scale that up. And we can also add people, which is also a really nice touch to show activity and relationship between spaces. It indicates how people are using a space. And so now the drawing is populated and finished, now it needs to read clearly as a document. Line weight hierarchy is what makes a floor plan legible. And I think an important thing to think about when you're creating a drawing is to think where the eye is going. If you're kind of confused and overwhelmed by the drawing, you need to work into the line hierarchy. The next thing is just start adding some more details such as dimensions and annotations. So dimensions are really simple to add. Once again, we want to make sure that we create a new layer for this to make sure that they're managed properly on a layer. And you can find your dimension tool at the bottom in your annotation bar, and you can either draw them as a single point or a chain. So it's really nice in this case if you have multiple elements to draw them as a chain. And so on the right hand side, once again, you can adjust the style, you can change the kind of endpoints, the stroke, the font, the size of the font, the color of the font. You can once again save that also as a style, so you can have annotation styles. You can then adjust the suffix if you wanted to. You could remove the suffix, you can change the decimal place, all of these things that, fully customize your drawing. Similarly with window tags and door tags, these can also be used as blocks, which you can then adjust some of the properties to. So for example, this window, we might want to change to maybe it's number 1 or number 5 or whatever it might be. We can kind of adjust and amend that as well. And a final small touch that I'm going to add to this drawing is going to be just some circulation lines. So really this is a graphical element just to indicate the kind of flow and movement and connectivity of the spaces. And this final graphical touch is really simply done by drawing a curve, and then you can change the stroke. So we're just going to change this to, rather than it being a dash, we can change it to a point dash. We can then change the scale of that dash, add a kind of blue tint to it, populate it across the drawing to indicate this kind of circulation routes. You can maybe tone it down a little bit so it's not too powerful in the drawing. And this is just a really nice way of finally kind of encapsulating some of these ideas that we've been talking about kind of permeability between external, internal, these kind of entrance spaces that are creating these kind of flows and links between different axes and wings of the building. And so this is just a really nice way of indicating to a client how these activities might happen. And of course, now we have the drawing, we need to present it. We need to pull it into a presentation that can then be shared as a PDF or a live presentation if you want to in Rayon. So in this case, you have paper canvases and model canvases. Paper canvases is where your presentation is and where your drawings are. Model canvas is where your drawings exist. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create a paper canvas, create a new page. You can then adjust the format to A3, A1, etc. Change the orientation, customize it as much as you want. In this case here, we have a nice A2 page with a title block that we've already pulled in, but you can also find title blocks in your block library. So the block library has all kinds of different options for title blocks, north arrows, scale bars, all of the things that you would need to populate your drawings can be found in the block library. You can also create your own title blocks if you have your own that you use and that you want to pull into the drawing. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a viewport into our model canvas. So when you create a view, it will give you a default view scale. And so the first thing that you probably want to do is then make sure you choose the right scale. So we're going to pull this drawing in at 1:50. We're going to scale that down and kind of crop it down into place onto our page. You can do that by kind of pulling the edges in and then positioning it onto our page. You can then adjust the title block. You can change some of the elements in it, changing the color, the fill. You can remove elements. You can adjust some of the properties of page numbers and maybe the scale that you want to demonstrate. And then you can export this page as a PDF. So if you then wanted to issue this presentation as a PDF to your client, you can then export this as a PDF. So from an outline with nothing inside it to a furnished floor plan styled with clear kind of drawing hierarchy and showing activity and intended use of the spaces. A floor plan that shows furniture and finishes tells a client what's in the room and how it's happening. It really helps them visualize the space further. And that's the difference between a kind of simple technical drawing and illustrating the experience of the space. And so if you want to try this workflow for yourself, if you want to build out your floor plans to a really kind of fully illustrated plan, there's a link in the description to create a free Rayon account and to try this workflow for yourself. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you smash that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this type of content. Thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.